very good evening, honorable members. Welcome to this episode of NTV People's Parliament. We are here at Teachers House, Bombo Road, Kampala, and we are discussing a very crucial matter in the education sector, and that is equity. My name is Betty Mudondo, and I'm going to be the speaker of the August House today, and I welcome all of you, honorable members. So this evening, we are here to discuss a very important topic, and that topic today is education versus gender equity. Do policies align with practice? So today we are here to understand if there are policies in the education sector that push for equity, are they being practiced? Do stakeholders know about these policies? Do students know about these policies? As students, are you aware that there are policies that are up here and they're ensuring that you stay in school, that you all get equal resources, equal opportunities without discrimination? Are you aware of them? And the parents here today, we also want to understand, do you know these policies? Do you know that your children have a right to stay in school, attaining equal resources, both boys and girls? First and foremost, I'm going to be introducing one of our biggest stakeholder today, our partner, to clearly elaborate and give us a preamble of this discussion on the floor of the August House. I would like to introduce the CEO, GEMAC, and that is Dr. John Mary Vianney Mitana, to give us a preamble of this discussion on the floor of the August House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name again is Honorable Dr. Mitana John Vianney, and I'm representing RED Uganda and JM Education Research Center in Kampala. Madam Speaker, I'm here to present a challenge that we have seen over time, that despite the fact that Uganda is a signatory to many conventions internationally and the continent level, but also having a number of policies and strategies, we still have challenges that I need to present to you and to this House. When you look at girls and boys' education in this country, the statistics have it that, and I want to read the statistics as they are. In the first case, we see that there is a high dropout rate for both girls and boys across the board. But now I want to present to you at the primary level. At the primary level, from P5 to P7, the survival rate for the girls stands at 32.9% only. That's quite alarming. And for boys, it's at 33.1%, the survival rate, meaning that the other percentage does not make it to P7. The question I want to pose, what challenges are boys and girls facing to the extent that they cannot make it to P7? The other alarming statistic I want to present to you, Madam Speaker, is a secondary level. When you look at the secondary level, the school enrollment rate stands at 46.9% compared to 51.1% for boys. Again, the girls are slightly lagging behind the boys. When it comes to senior 5, the students transitioning now from O level to A level, here are again other statistics. We have the senior 4 completion rate, first of all, standing at only 34%. 34%, mark it clearly. When it comes to boys, it is at 45%. The girls, again, are slightly lagging behind, though the difference is not big. When it comes to the transition rate to A level, Madam Speaker, to senior 5, for girls is at 25.9%, and for boys at 33.6%. The question I again pose is, what are the challenges? Are there some school-based challenges There are systemic challenges that we see in schools that we need to dissect today. Why is it that the policy is not translated into practice? That despite having these good policies, we are still lamenting here that people are not transitioning, and we still huge gaps, gender gaps in schools and even in communities. I beg stop here. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable John Meriviane Mitana. We can give him a round of applause. Now, with those numbers, with those statistics clearly indicated by Honorable John Meriviane Mitana, I still affirm that in my hands here, I have the gender in education policy. And this policy aims to ensure that all students get equal resources in the education sector, and it emphasizes equity. It emphasizes equality, but equity. It calls for fairness and removal of all barriers that limit. Because when you look at the numbers, they indicate that the girl child still lags behind in this sector. But here, this policy talks about equity. It emphasizes the removal of barriers so that both boys and girls can achieve equal resources and can achieve the same success in the education sector. So we are still continuing, and I'm going to take this particular moment to invite another honorable member from the education sector to come through and clearly tell us why they think the numbers are like this, why do we have statistics standing this for boys and girls, yet the policy clearly states that there should be equity for all the barriers removed for all the girls and the boys to acquire equal resources and opportunities while in school. Please, honorable member, take to the floor of the Glass House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the chance you have given me. My name is Honorable Mukama Theodore, a pupil from Malamaje Primary School, here to discuss the topic, education and gender equity. Education and gender equity aim to promote equal access to educational opportunities for all individuals, regardless of their gender. However, the alignment between policy and practice is a different story. It does not favor boys in senior schools. Let's say that you're in a senior class, in senior 6 classroom doing an exam. Of course, you want to be the best performer in class. It will be so good to hear your name in the number 1 position. The second is a girl. Both of you have 19 points, but they add the girl 1.5 points. This policy is called affirmative action, making her the first and you the second. Boys are usually angered and depressed because of that. Some boys go ahead to drop out due to this. Some become criminals, smokers, and alcoholics, drug abusers, etc., because their hard work was wasted. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
So there you have it. Please give the honorable member a round of applause. He took to the microphone to stand for the boy child. He has explained his views and his reasons why the boy child is dropping out of school. So the girl child, where are you at? The statistics showed that the dropout rate is higher for the girl child. Can I have another honorable member to come to the floor of the August House and express what they feel? Are the policies aligning with practice in school where you are? Are they being implemented? Are the teachers telling you about these policies? Please, honorable member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I am Langara Peace Melissa from Malamaje Primary School. I'm here today to present my stance on the topic, education versus gender equity. Does policy align with practice? Education refers to the continuous process of acquiring knowledge, skills, and values from the time one is born till he or she dies. Gender refers to the state of being either male or female. Gender equity refers to the treatment of both males and females in an equal or same manner. Policy refers to the set of principles or rules of doing something. In my point of view, it may seem as if girls are treated better than boys. But let's have a throwback. In the olden days, girls were not allowed to go to school because they were thought to be weak and that it would be useless to educate girls. Girls are discriminated in very many ways where no one cared what a female could do. Now that girls have been given a chance to step up, it's resulting into a big issue. But I think we are all treated equally. Girls are studying with the boys, women are doing the same work as men, and they're holding very important positions in the country. We'd like to thank the organizations that have been put up to support the girl child and make up for all those lives that were wasted in the name of there is no use in educating girls. You may say these are things of long ago. So let's fast forward to the current Uganda. A big number of women and girls are raped every year. And in this, who do you think suffers a greater repercussion? I think it is the girl, because this may result into an early pregnancy, which may lead her to drop out of school. Yet she would have continued with her studies and would have become a very big person in future. To some extent, which in my point of view is sufficient, education and gender equity is practiced in Uganda in the following ways. Both girls and boys are allowed to freely interact in the same classrooms in the care of the same teacher. In many schools, both boys and girls are allowed to freely participate in sports activities. Both boys and girls are allowed to stand for various prefectorial posts without discrimination. Both men and women are allowed to hold various leadership positions in schools, such as head teacher, deputy head teacher, and many more. In this, you see that both genders are catered for. If a boy has a problem, he is helped, and likewise girls. In a nutshell, I agree that education and gender equity is practiced in Uganda. I rest my case.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable Member. The Honorable Member is clearly stating that for equality to be achieved, there has to be equity. The fairness has to be there, and the barriers have to be removed for the girl child to excel as highly as it can be. Thank you so much for reaching out on the floor of the August House. I'd like to take this opportunity to again welcome everyone who just arrived, and also to thank all of you for coming to participate in big numbers. Those who are watching from home, we're also glad to have you on NTV watching People's Parliament, the show that brings real issues and expresses them, explains them to the public. Real issues are being discussed, and today we are discussing the topic, education versus gender equity. Do policies align with practice? We shall be back after this break to clearly understand whether the policies on ground are actually being implemented by the stakeholders, by the teachers, by the schools, and do learners understand these policies. We'll now take a break, but when we return, we shall be able to delve back into the conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament here on NTV. My name is Betty Mudondo, and I'm the speaker today of the August House. And we're discussing a very crucial topic in the education sector, and that is education versus gender equity. Do policies align with practice? We all know to ensure the much needed equality, we have to ensure that there is fairness and removal of barriers, and that is equity. Now, the key focus of the Gender and Education Policy 2021 focuses on promoting equal access and retention. As much as children are enrolled in school, they have a right to stay in school. But how do they stay in school? What policies are we looking at to maintain and to ensure that children stay in school and they are sustained in school? So we are here, and at this particular moment, I would like to take on to any points from any honorable member to come and take the floor of the August House to at least elaborate on the changes the boy child is facing in school as vis-a-vis the girl child, and why the numbers are as indicated by the earlier honorables. Honorable member, please come and take the floor of the August House.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, fellow honorable members present. But my major query is, we've tried to promote one gender. I'm not becoming negative on the other side, but time will come when we are raising a generation of broken men. In a class setup, I think my colleagues who are teachers here can testify, you'll find like girl child is spearheading class setup in terms of participation, in terms of self-expression, and we'll find like the other party, males, they are becoming timid. Even on a parental point of view, when you bring a query before a parent, we hear a parent telling a son, you're a man, you can survive, you're a man. And there's the way how this thing is lagging the boy child behind. You're a man. But a girl child, you say like, you know what? No, you see, there is a rift in the way how we are bringing up these children. And before I leave the floor, I wish to call upon all the stakeholders. Let us bring all these issues on the same level, starting from home and the community as well. We should uplift both genders on equal basis. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, is it true that while you're there in the schools, in the community, we are uplifting one gender? And why is it so? Because like you had the honorable member is expressing his views and saying one gender is being timid. Is the other gender being timid? So please come and highlight to us why you think this is happening and what can be done in order to have an equal balance for all students, both boys and girls, because we are here today to discuss equity in the education sector. And our biggest partner, JM Education and Research Center, is pushing to make you understand that there are policies that have to keep all the boys and the girls in school having equal opportunities. We all have a right to get equal opportunities. Honorable member, please air out your views.
I honor you, Madam Chairperson, my fellow honorables, and all of us around for this call. I would like to supplement on the previous speaker's point of view and strongly agree with him that boy child today is being left out, not considered, because of my expression or point of view. First of all organizations that arise today are rising up only for girl child, leaving boy child out. We see it in most organizations in our society. All of them are focusing on caring for girls, not knowing that boys also need care, and not knowing that those girls are also going to live in the environment with the broken men who are not given time. I hope all of us know that girls or women live in the same environment with the men we are living out. The parents at home. Sometimes a boy child can go to a parent at home and ask for a resource, and the parent tends to say, you are a boy child, you can cater for that. That creates a spirit of anxiety in the boy child's heart and misery, because every time the parent is only catering for the girl child, leaving him out that he can cater for everything. Then, from the other point of view, I would also like to talk about the limited access for the education, limited access for education to the marginalized groups. This comes from where? We all know that we have people with disabilities from our society. But according to a report of 2019 by the Human Rights Watch, it indicates that...
You just have a few minutes to finish up that point. Please wind up, honorable member.
It indicates that children with disabilities and other marginalized groups in Uganda face lack of accessible infrastructure and discriminatory attitudes. All of us know that some of the disabled people in the society are discriminated, and some schools or buildings, they are not well organized for those people to move well, those who use wheelchairs. Some of the buildings don't cater for them. Like now, we see the staircases which brought us here. Now let me ask, can a disabled person who is lame climb the staircases and come here?
And that is a question for the stakeholders. The honorable member is talking about inclusion as well as fairness. So he brought two points of discussion, and from there, I want another honorable member. And this time, I want an honorable member from either UNATU, either JM Education and Research Center, or Star Education to clearly highlight why the boy child is here and expressing their views about unfairness.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker of Parliament. It's a pleasure to be in part of this debate. I'm Honorable Duluga Philip. I want to add my voice on the issue of education and equity. Does it align with the practice? As it has been noted clearly by the previous speakers, it's very true that sometimes we have policies that are in education and has allowed access to education. That's why we see right now we have the girls' child education being emphasized, the boy child education also being emphasized, and we also have the aspect of inclusion. I remember one time when the policy came in, like the universal primary education policy, it emphasizes on the aspect of inclusiveness. And that's why we are now looking at this policy allowing people to be in school. But of course, once they're in school, you find that the girl child is given more attention. And then the boy child, of course, traditionally were favored. But of course, because of this, you find that affirmative actions are also being put in place, where you have extra points for the girl child in the universities, and also the aspect of STEM. So that is an affirmative action, and therefore we can truly say that the policy practice is aligned to what is on the ground.
Honorable member, I would like to have you again, because you have talked about affirmative action. And later, I'll have you to clearly give us some of the solutions on the way forward. That is in our next segment. For now, I want to bring in still more of other members to clearly also highlight on how did we get here. You've talked about students not going to school, talked about inclusivity as well. But still in the first place, you said the policies are working. So I want to understand if the policies are here. Yes? So, and the schools are also here, the heads are here. Why aren't we having the ramps in school? Why aren't we having these policies clearly implemented and schools tasked to come out and clearly explain why students still roam on the roads and fall out of their schools?
Okay. Yeah, I think that is something that is a structural challenge. Because like when we are talking about design for structures, and that is solely the responsibility of the ministry responsible for education. Sometimes these structures are designed where we ignore the provisions for these learners with disability. And therefore it should be a very positive issue that requires all of us to intervene into the aspect of ensuring that we have these policies that will address the aspect of inclusiveness. Because it is our responsibility. Once they are constructing, we need to be also monitoring. Do we have all what it takes to have an inclusive setup in a school system? And therefore, if it is not there, and then we have to come up and ensure that we have the provisions, and that will help us to ensure inclusive setup in a education system. Thank you.
Now, still the question lingers. Children are dropping out of school, and we want to understand how this can be handled. The policies are here, but where are the loopholes? Honorable member, please take to the floor of the August House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is Honorable Ashraf Bosora from Kampe Division. And in the first place, we have Article 21.
Honorable member, please push closer to the microphone.
We have Article 21.
Thank you.
This is talks about equality and freedom from discrimination. Secondly, we have Article 30. It talks about right to education, regardless of the age, status. Basically, it entails all people. The setting up of private schools. When you look at mostly the Muslim private schools, they discriminate a certain category of people, majorly the girls. In those Muslim schools, majorly, girl child is a bit limited to certain positions within the school. For instance, it's very hard to find a Muslim school being headed by a girl. Maybe she's a head prefect. Majorly.
Do we have anyone, any honorable member from a Muslim school?
Yes.
Because we are here to speak facts.
Majorly.
Yes, we have a honorable member there. Because we are here to address facts, we speak about factual issues. Honorable member, would you like, before the honorable member leaves the floor, to at least say something about that? We don't want to leave it there. We have to get the facts right. Yes, you're going to come. And I would gladly offer.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It is important that we speak from facts. True, countrywide, we are not at the same level. I was in an only girls Muslim school for 6 years, and I was the head girl in that school. And over the years, so many head girls have come through. Yes, true, in a number of schools, especially mixed schools, Muslims and non-Muslims, are religious founded and non-religious founded. The percentage could be below 10% where you find a head prefect, not a head girl, a head prefect who is a girl. So that is a fact. We are at different levels in terms of awareness and uptake of gender equality and gender equity.
I'd like to take this opportunity again to invite Honorable John Mary Vianney Mitana to clearly indicate and clarify on the statistics of the numbers. How are the numbers standing? Honorable member, you're going to discuss them very, very briefly for all those who are not here earlier to be able to understand where we are coming from with our topic, education versus gender equity. Do policies align with practice?
Thanks so much. I just want to highlight, as requested, the statistics which indicate that much as we're talking about equity, we still have issues of transition for both boys and girls. And let us not just focus on one gender, but both girls and boys have challenges. For example, when you look at the primary level, from P5 to P7, the dropout rate is alarming, is quite high, with the survival rate for girls standing at 32.9%. That means that out of 100 girls, only 32.9 are completing P7 countrywide. When it comes to boys, the survival rate is 33.1. Much as we may say boys are better than girls here, but I think the difference is so minor. We need to understand what are the drivers, the dropout rates in the country. Why are our children dropping out at an alarming rate is the question I have. We need solutions. And at this moment, Madam Speaker, we have some organizations there that are doing some good job in the communities there. We have Star Education Uganda. We have Kukuza Uganda. They are doing an amazing job in the communities. Maybe at one point we may need to invite them to tell us what are they doing to improve the situation on the ground. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Now, the gender in education policy emphasizes strengthening accountability and implementation, and also the policy aims to bridge gaps in gender in the education sector. Now, like the Honorable Member has said, we have some good organizations, we have stakeholders on ground that are doing a tremendous job in ensuring that both boys and girls stay in school, because the statistics are not having a huge difference, like Honorable John Mary Vianney stated. So later, after this break, we shall have these particular stakeholders come to the floor of the August House and clearly explain to us what is the way forward. What can we do to ensure that these numbers are kept here, or the numbers are kept still and we don't have children dropping out at a very high rate. Thank you so much for watching NTV People's Parliament. We are coming to you live at Teachers House here at Bombo Road in Kampala, and our topic today is education versus gender equity. Do policies align with practice? Stay tuned. After the break, we shall be able to bring you solutions and hold those that are supposed to be held accountable. Thanks for watching. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, and we're here at Teachers House, UNATU, Bombo Road in Kampala, and we're discussing a crucial topic in the education sector, and that is education versus gender equity. Do policies align with practice? And today we have a number of stakeholders and partners in the house. We have JEMAC, and that is JM Research and Education Center. We have Kukuza Uganda. We have officials from UNATU, and we have honorable members from the different schools. We have Mother Manjeri Primary School, we have St. Chisto SS, and we have Rock of Jehovah SS, as well as their teachers in the house. So today we are still discussing this topic. We are discussing equity in the education sector, and at this point we are looking at the way forward. What are the solutions to the problem statement? What are the solutions to the issues that have been raised? We've talked about unfairness, we've talked about lack of the necessary requirements to push through schools for both the boys and the girls, and we have realized, as much as the saying goes that girls are favored over boys and boys have a higher hand, still the school dropout for boys is also high. It's just slightly lower with the girls. So let's take a look at the next part of this segment, and we're discussing solutions. But at this point, I would like to first invite an honorable member I promised to call once again, and this is Honorable Member Fatuma Wamala from Kukuza, Uganda, to come and give us at least some of the solutions. What is the way forward to this?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think the solutions are at different levels. The solutions are at different levels. And the solutions call for all stakeholders to be players and not just spectators. The learners, both boys and girls, we have the role of understanding, right? What is exactly happening to our colleagues, to us? What do we need to do what is our responsibility that we need to undertake from a point of protecting our rights as learners, as children, right? Both boys and what? And girls. And we have the responsibility of being our sisters and brothers' keeper, right? Then we have the responsibility of understanding some of, not being bystanders, right? As everything is happening, don't be bystanders, understand what's happening, right? You have the responsibility of knowing when to engage leaders, when to engage duty bearers, right? Not to be timid, to speak up, but respectfully. Are we together? Yes, that is a responsibility for the learners. When it comes to the teachers also have a responsibility to be 21st century teachers from so many angles. It's a big responsibility, but with accepting to be students of the new realities, we will understand how to handle the gender dynamics and the challenges that present with the century that we are dealing with today, with all the challenges of technology, over-information by the learners, and the poverty realities at different levels in different districts. That is also another big responsibility. Then the parents also have to be brought on board. Today we have a gap where the parents have kind of taken a back step in the education process. When they come in and bring the learners into the school, participating actively in the process, we need to bring the parents back so that the triangle of education, the school, the parents, and the learners is all well covered. And then we will go to the government. We need to accept to be students and learn, relearn, deconstruct what we think we have known, because the new phase, for example, that is going to take us from the 30% that we have achieved requires unlearning, relearning, and learning, so that we can move from the 30% where we are on transition, on survival, right? Whatever level we have achieved, we celebrate that. But to move from that level, we need to unlearn, learn, relearn, deconstruct what we know, and learn again, so that we can get new energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. She has clearly stated the theory of emptying your cup. As a learner, as a teacher, as a stakeholder, you have to empty your cup so that you can get new knowledge within that cup. A full cup cannot get any more because it's already full. So let's all empty our cups once in a while, and we unlearn, we relearn, and we learn at the same time. Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Now, like I kept on telling you earlier on, our biggest stakeholder, that is JM, Education and Research Center, their vision is a world where all children and youth learn, achieve, and thrive. So we are here to ensure that all learners thrive, both boys and girls. We are not looking at one gender. No, we are looking at both. So I would like to also call upon a teacher at this time, because we are talking about the education sector. The students take longer in school with you, even more than the parents. They come for holidays for what? 3 weeks? 1 month, and then they're back in school. Let me have a teacher. Please come and clearly tell us what is the way forward in reducing the huge numbers of the school dropouts for both boys and girls.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Amwesiga, a teacher at Mother Marjorie Primary School. And through experience, that's what I'm going to share with you. In this discussion of education and gender equity, plus the statistics that we have been given on the on the school dropout rate, it's really alarming, because 30%, you are not even halfway. So mainly, I'll start with the socio-economic status. This translates into the well-to-do families or communities, they stay in school, that's the 30%. But now the other 68% in the poor communities, those are the poor who have not made it to the other side. So the question is, how do we help these people also complete school? And the biggest challenge now, highlighting the socio-economic status, that means that poverty is a key player in hindering us. The lack of materials, mainly, I think government has a big role to play, plus some organizations highlighted. But the challenge we are having with organizations, sometimes these organizations provide help to people who are already well off. You find that the people who are meant to get this help are not getting it, because probably I'm connected to someone and I say, could you be having anybody in your family you can offer a bursary?
I am going to call on to another honorable member who is a stakeholder to clarify, because we stick on facts. We have Kukuza and we have JMAC. So you're going to tell us, JM Education and Research Education Center will also tell us, because I need facts. Is it true, honorable members, that we give support to only the people we know, that we're rated to, connected to? I need a honorable member to come and clearly elaborate on this, because we are here to stand for the truth, fairness, equity, and equality. Because if we are here to ensure that both boys and girls stay in school, we don't need connections to stay in school. Isn't it very important? Let them tell us.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just would like to clarify that for any child that gets a bursary or scholarship, there is a system for the choice that is made, and usually the biggest contributor to that choice is the socioeconomic status of the family that the kid is coming from. Okay. So and actually, if you're the one on the panel that is choosing the child to get the bursary or scholarship, and you personally know that child, you are exempted from the interview. So you cannot...
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict. So you cannot give your own child or somebody you're known to, but two, if a kid is already coming from a rich or well-to-do family, clearly they don't qualify to be part of the scholarship. So I just wanted to clarify that one.
Thank you so much, honorable member, for that clarity. At this point, I would like to have a parent. I would like to have a parent on the floor. Yes, because why I want to have a parent is because there are parent-teacher associations as well as meetings, visitation days. They call us under the shed and they tell us about fees increment, but are they telling us about the policies? Let me have a parent. What is the way forward? Should we be discussing policies during VD, or we should be discussing food, grab? Students, would you appreciate to discuss policies during VD? Hey, they have refused. You need to stay in school. Because you won't have grab when you're not in school. Let me have a parent at this moment. Honorable member, please take to the floor of the August House.
Thank you, Right Honorable. I am Honorable Councillor Ruamagana Nasoro Habib from Central Division, and I happen to be the chairman of School Management Committee of Nachivo Blue Primary School. I will slightly base my submission to what the honorable member who gave us statistics and the teacher who rightly elaborated. The challenge is that the government comes up with certain policies, and those policies are not adequately whipped to the parents. Generally, when we are talking of universal education, a parent thinks that 100% the government must meet the needs of a pupil, a teacher, and a parent. And it ends up the parent just giving it, going into, what can I call it? He plays from a safe corner. And at the end of it, it is actually either the teacher will not have enough material to the pupil, or the school will not have enough to cater for the nitty-gritty needs. Thank you very much, Brighton.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member, for those remarks. And I still insist, in my hand, I have the Gender in Education Policy, and these policies are accessible, they are online, they are at the ministry for everyone to have a clear view of them. Please take time to read these policies as a learner, as a teacher. Like the Honorable Member said earlier, let us learn, relearn, and unlearn. Let us empty our cups and be able to learn again. In order to achieve the equality that we need in the education sector, we need to ensure that there is equity. And today's topic was education versus gender equity. Do policies align with practice? And the different honorable members have submitted their views and also submitted solutions on the way forward. Thank you so much for watching NTV People's Parliament, and thank you so much for coming here in big numbers to be part of this conversation. And at this moment, I would like to thank everyone who is watching from home. This is NTV People's Parliament, the platform where your views are aired and we seek solutions and hold those who are supposed to be held accountable. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.